What is going on, Panther Lair? We are talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers 73-81 home loss to the Texas A&M Aggies this past Tuesday night. Now, I'm going to break down some of the things that went right in Pitt's 16-0 run, which occurred in the second half, just after the under 12 media timeout. It's not going to be every score, but a couple possessions here and there. Now, I will say that I do not think that the Panthers' defense really was the catalyst here, because if you go back and watch, Texas A&M misses dunks, they miss tip shots, they miss some layups early on, right after the under 12 media timeout. So again, I don't really think Pitt did anything special defensively. I think it was just some pretty good offense on their part, along with just some misfortune on the Aggies' part, and sometimes that's just the way things go. So going to dive into a couple possessions here, a couple scores. Now, if you watch the game, then you know that DeMarco Minor is actually the person who breaks the scoring drought after the under 12 media timeout in the second half with 2 free throws, this being the first basket, which actually doesn't occur until the 9:55 mark here. It's going to be Barry Dunning Jr. Now, I haven't really talked a lot. Well, actually, no. I don't have a voice overlay for this, but I am going to highlight his performance here because I think he's just played really well the last couple of games here. Puts the ball on the floor, gets things going. I think anytime Dunning Jr. is attacking the basket, particularly off 2 dribbles, he is pretty much at the rim. He's long, he's athletic. I think positive things come of that. Now, I know they tried to get him and Cam Corrin going after the under 12 media timeout. Dunning commits a turnover. I think Corrin misses a 3 in there, so they weren't successful early, but I think those are the 2 guys that the Panthers really need to go to here anytime they're looking for offense. And so it doesn't surprise me that things do get started with that. I do like this 5-out action. I've talked a lot about I don't really love any time that Corrin is initiating offense here. I just don't think the passing is great. There's a lot of missed times here, but he is getting better, and he's probably Pitt's best offensive player, at least most consistent offensive player through the first 9 games here, so I think that's relevant. But these 5-out looks aren't too bad. You could just see a couple things here that just aren't quite there 100%, but Corrin does the most. Now, you could see that he likes to drive off this position, seen in the last couple of games. He does a decent job. Now, the Panthers are going to try to run this exchange over here. I like this because it's going to try to, confuse the help. It might even potentially switch help here. You're not sure, but you could just see there's a couple things that this team is just not quite there on, but Corrin still makes the most of it, as I was saying. Because you're going to see B-Ball Cummings calls out that he wants Dunning Jr. to lift even further to get him out of this immediate help position. Right there, he's like, hey, can you just move out just a little bit more, lift a little bit more? But Corrin does a good job, just kind of pulls through right here, up and over the defense, and just goes over the smaller player here for a basket. Again, we see pretty much more of this 5-out action here. Actually, it's funny, Federico here. We know his footprint is pretty much always hedge. And there it is. There's an opportunity here to get this into Corrin if he turns this right away. If Minor is able to just make this off his left hand, this is an opportunity to get a rolling Corrin against a smaller defender here as the low man. Also, Corrin is a capable enough passer. If he catches this, he can kick this to Cummings in the corner for a wide open 3 here. Misses that window, but we have 2 players in trailing position. I do like the step back here. I think that Minor's ability to create off of a step back, sometimes sidestep, although I did highlight that in one of the videos here that I just didn't love all of the sidesteps, is solid here. But this is a very much in rhythm, non-forced self-creation shot. This goes down. And then this set here, it's interesting. I feel like this is something that the team brought out in this particular game. This double stagger. Now, what usually happens is this ends up being a very high ball screen for Corrin, but then Dunning, instead of setting the screen, just kind of clears through here. Now, anytime you're involving 2 off-ball players with, in the action here, so 3 players involved in, I should say specifically, in any type of ball action, that you're going to have a situation where you're taking out a help defender. So there's going to be 3 defenders involved in the action, 2 defenders now off the ball in help. And I think that's important here because basically as Dunning clears through here, he takes out the defender. He takes out what would have been Corrin's defender here. And now you have a scramble, right? You have Minor's original guy trying to step back up. You have Dunning Jr.'s guy kind of in a drop position, and now you have Corrin's guy all back in a position of he's trying to trail to get back here, and then of course the low man has to tag on Corrin. So there's good things that came of this, even if the screening action was somewhat unintentional. And what that leaves is this skip pass all the way to the corner with the help sucked in to Indricitis. And these are the kind of things, and I know people are probably not going to love this, but these are the kind of looks that like Jalen Lowe would generate for the most part for this team. And so I think it's important that like Minor is kind of getting to a point where he's seeing these things, the pick and roll actions working enough where these are open, because I do think that Indricitis is a solid spot up shooter. So a lot of things went well there. Again, didn't highlight everyone. I think there's like a Indricitis layup before these sequences, some of these sequences here. But the offense went well. And I think the key things here are, and I don't want to pick on anybody here, but Amari Witherspoon goes to the bench at the under 12 media timeout. And so the initiation of offense goes primarily to Minor, with Corn looking to generate, but we saw his drive in here, and also Dunning Jr. very decisive, involved in the screen game. So I just feel like with Minor in control here, Pitt was able to go on a run. I don't want to say that they wouldn't have with Witherspoon, but I think his inefficiency and just his inexperience, honestly, because I think he does have a lot of potential, I think that was kind of part of the reason here as well.